Recapping 9/30/2021, Space. They had some pretty good value moving. Same with TNXP. With Space, Virgin Galactic, they had jumped up 275. They had a pretty good day for the day. With Space, I still feel they're a good buy under the 30 mark. You can definitely see them coming back up, and once they regained steam, they could easily surpass that 45.60 going into 2022, 2023. So right now they're holding around that 25, which isn't a bad entry point. They were cleared for takeoff after their investigations, so I would say Space is going to be rebounding soon. With TNXP, they've been hovering around that 60-cent mark, but you could easily see them go to the dollar in the future. So as an entry point, I still don't think TNXP is a bad place. Superior Drilling, you saw them move up in volume. They've definitely been doing a little bit of a hike, and over the last couple days they've had a good run. They should be able to hold steam going into the future and continue with everything that they have as far as supplies go. They supply quite a bit, so with everything with drilling, they should be in high demand going into the future, especially with oil and gas. With TGRO, they keep moving quite a bit. They're staying at the same ask bid, but their volume is definitely increasing, so I'd expect them to rise up here in the short future. AMLH, they've been making some moves, more volume lately on them. You can see where AMLH, they've been hovering around that 0.0030, but running up to 0.0050, catching them at a good entry point, and then if they drop low, level down and leverage your position. TGRO 0005 has been holding pretty strong. FFMGF, they've definitely been on that trajectory where it's a slow rebound back, but if they take off at any time, you could definitely see them head towards that dollar mark. So being around that 25-cent entry point isn't a bad entry point, knowing that they're probably going to 4 times themselves in the future. IFXY, they've been moving a pretty steady volume lately. IKTO, they got some life going into them. They're one that fluctuates up and down with IKTO. If you're spending the higher money on a bigger volume, you can probably make a decent chunk off them. Same with IFXY, they seem to hover back and forth. IFXY, I would say that they're probably finding a new bottom around that 005, where they can hover and start heading towards that 1 cent mark to be a true penny stock. NOHO, they've definitely been moving some volume. CEI as well has been moving volume. NOHO, you're starting to see them hover where I'd say their new bottoms at 0007. ASDN, they fluctuate a little bit, but they're due for a breakout as well. And like I said, CEI, catch them when they're low, get a good entry point, and then they definitely have some life to rise. NOHO, I think, is definitely a 10 times play, getting to a penny. CEI, you could see them go to $10 in the future eventually. They're going to have some ups and downs and resistance and have to go back and forth for a minute. But I think catching them before they hit $5 is probably the key play right now. ASDN, they've seen 7, so I would say in the future this is probably a 7 to 10 times play on them. Looking at 10/1/21, the government avoids shutdown, so Will things stay for the October 18th course, December of 2021? How far out can the government keep avoiding their shutdowns until something actually happens? We'll have to see what happens with everything playing out of Washington. The September 28th deadline hit, TGRO. They just keep moving the volume though. When you look at 10-minute charts, they had a strong finish on 10-1. So when we start to look towards October, you can definitely see where October is probably going to be a month where we see some of these stocks start to run now that we're out of that September 28th deadline. NOHO, I would expect them to run pretty soon a little bit, probably at least a 0015, start getting up there. GARB, they've been ticking back and forth, so they're interesting play to see if they shut down or if they start to rebound. With NOHO, they've definitely been showing a pretty good pattern where I think they're starting to find a new bottom and slowly level up. I would expect to see them at that 001 and hold that for the future. So it's a load or bust time on some of these, especially like GARB. They're hovering around that one, but even if you catch them small, you could double up if they're probably going to go towards that 4 mark and then the 6 to 8, then the 10 to 12. But you could load up and they could bust too. So I think they're an interesting stock to watch. AMLH, I think anything buying in the 004 level, you're doing pretty good. They're probably going to find a new bottom, I think, around that 005. They've been around the 003 for a while, holding strong. So I would say buying them at 0035 to 0045 isn't a bad play at this point. On a weekly buy hold, I would definitely think that with AMLH, you're going to see them definitely in the future stay above that 006. So I think if you bought in anywhere between 003 and 005, you should be able to see a healthy gain on them in the future. CLIS, they've definitely been starting to show some back and forth movement. And once again, this is one of those where you're getting into some true penny stocks to play around the penny. So they're definitely getting close to that 10 cents in holding. They get to 10 cents in holding, they might be a 10 times play to get to $1 in the future. DSUS, they've came back, showing some life. With DSUS, I think that they're kind of over a hump where you could definitely see them get back to being at a penny in the future. But that's at drones, DRNG. Another one to do your DD on, check out with DRNG. That's one of those I can definitely see being at a penny, and once it gets there, it can go to 10 cents and $1 real quick. So that's just looking to the future. Remember, I'm just a blue-collar worker paying this forward. I'm not a stockbroker, not a financial analyst or advisor. I'm just here to pay information forward. So make sure you further research on these stocks. It's the own language to make sure that you're listening to people that you can understand, and you're understanding the language of what the stocks are speaking. They're going through a reverse split, stock merger, etc. And that's just being bullish on some of these stocks. Technology and intelligence in the future. TONR, they're one that I can definitely see they're worth checking out. PUGE is another one worth checking out. Look at companies with no debt. That definitely is a big helper when you're investing in a company, and to make sure that they don't have overlying hanging debt. BRYYF, it's another one to check out. They definitely can be seeing that penny to 10 cents to $1 in the future. With TAKOF, with a drone delivery, I definitely see this stock being able to rise to $1 in the future, and it could be an easy double times play. You know, they definitely have that potential where even looking at a stock that's going to move at a 10-cent ratio, they definitely have that play where in the future, if drones take off and the technology's there, you'd see some of these stocks definitely go to $10 to $100. Might be that next Apple stock. DKNG with DraftKings, that just football season, baseball made me throw this one up here. Never know where they're going to go. They're kind of back and forth and up and down, but they're clearing resistance where I think they might be a stock that heads from 50 to 100 in the future. BSSP, still waiting to see what they do, but if they can hold out that 005 and go up from there, they'd be a good stock in the future. Right now, they're definitely on the low end where they're still weighing. Today was a pretty cold day, but let's see what they do in the future. If they can get to the 001, 002, I can see them kind of travel and climb fast if they get a good merger. So make sure you look at your calendar going ahead. Make sure you look at the days where it's dropping, good days to buy in, good days to hold. You know, which ones are worth holding through end of November, and what you're going to want to hold through the end of October and kind of see things come to fruition in November. And hopefully it's a good November before we get to Christmas. So make sure you check your calendars, make sure you're watching your daily, weekly, keep track of, you know, what's hot on what days, where you see things fall off in the week, where reporting seems to be coming. So make sure you do your DD and have a good week.